Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Harrison, Assistant Principal at St. George's Technical High School. I just want to share some information to our freshmen and also parents and guardians of our freshman students about our reapplication process. A lot of this information is review from a prior presentation that I put in the parent newsletter several months ago. And a lot of this information went out into a letter to our parents describing our reapplication process. I just want to briefly touch on some of the points of the reapplication process and also show you how to fill out the reapplication form itself. So really quickly, every year I let the students know which career programs may oversubscribe. As of now, I think there's a good possibility that athletic healthcare, auto technology, carpentry, electrical trades, EMS, IT, and nurse technology may be the oversubscribed career programs. However, I'm surprised every year there's always one or two surprises. Those programs that I thought may oversubscribe, maybe they didn't, and a couple of programs that I didn't think would oversubscribe, maybe they did. So again, actual numbers may be different. I had the students complete a pre-reapplication survey this past week. I'll compile that data, share that data with our careers and transition instructors who can share it with our students tomorrow. And basically on that survey, students put down as they were taking the survey at that moment, what would be their first, second, and third choice. Any student can change their minds at any time for any reason for the real reapplication form that's going out next week. But what I do is I take that data and I share it with the students. They can take a look at it. They can use it to inform their career decision-making process, or they can reject the information. It's simply a data point that they can consider to use to maybe help them figure out which career programs may be good for them to put down on the reapplication form. So real quick, students will submit a reapplication form. It's a Google form, and the link to access and complete the Google form, it will be available on Schoology on Monday, February 22nd. The form should be completed by the parent, guardian, and student together. There's an acknowledgement piece to it for both individuals. Please double check that form for accuracy before clicking submit so that you only complete the form once per student. And if you run into any issues with the form, please contact your student's careers and transition instructor. So when we have an oversubscribed career program, and if you recall from the prior presentation, when a program oversubscribes, that means that there's more students that want to get in the program than we have seats available. So at that point, we have an objective process that we follow to determine who gets into an oversubscribed career program. So when a career program oversubscribes, we look at several factors, including grades, attendance, discipline record, and the strength of the career instructor's recommendation. So real quick, the reapplication timeline, the reapplication forms will be available Monday, February 22nd, and they're due by Wednesday, February 24th. And the reapplication forms will be accessible via Schoology. And career placement notification letters will be made no later than Thursday, April 1st. So real quick, a couple of frequently asked questions. Is my student guaranteed his or her first choice? The answer is no. We try to accommodate as many first choices as possible, and typically 80 to 90% of our students every year get their first choice career program, and then 5 to 10% of the students get their second choice or third choice. And there's always a couple that we have to look at a fourth place option. And again, it all depends on what they select and how many other students are competing to get into that career program and how many students we can admit. But again, we try real hard to accommodate as many first choices as possible. Can my child apply to any career program? The answer is yes. However, if the program does oversubscribe, we give preference to those students who explored the program on rotations. In other words, say your child puts down EMS as their first choice career program and it oversubscribes, but your child never selected it or saw it on a week-long rotation experience, and that counts either virtually or in the building. If they didn't see it, they weren't part of that week-long rotation experience, then we don't consider them for that oversubscribed program. So you might want to take that into consideration when you're making up your career selections. When will my child know about their career selection? Again, we will make notifications via email by April 1st, 2021. If you have any questions about this process, you could reach out to myself or your child's careers and transition instructor or the guidance counselor. They'll be happy to help you out as well. Real quick, I just want to transition into the reapplication form itself. It only takes a couple of minutes to fill out. It's just important to make sure that you double check the information before you click submit, but the form itself is rather simple. So I'll go ahead and fill out a sample form for you so you can see how easy it is. So you can see the instructions at the top. It's just a reminder before you click submit, review the information to make sure you enter the information accurately, because this is what we use to determine your career placement. And again, it says that the parent guardian must be present to click the acknowledgement at the end of the form. So, real quick, what is your name? I'll put my name down. I'll give a fictitious ID number, email address. And this says, what is your first choice career program? So at this point in time, I've done a lot of research on what my options are. I've really thought hard about what I may be good at and what may be a good fit for me. Hopefully, I've talked to my parent guardian about my decision and maybe the careers and transition instructors. And I'm going to go ahead and put down as my first choice, I'm going to put athletic healthcare. And yes, I saw it on rotation, so that's probably a good thing for me to do. Second choice, I want to stay within the medical field. I'm going to put down as a second choice, I'm going to put down something that I have a realistic chance of getting into if I don't get my first choice career program. So here's where good students often get crossed up. They put down 3 programs that oversubscribe, and that bumps them to a fourth choice. So since I try to accommodate as many first choices as possible, and say your child misses their first choice program, just barely misses the cut line based on the competition. So then we look at the second choice program for that child. And when we look at it, we say, okay, what's the second choice program? If we look at it and say the second choice was EMS, we say, oh, wow, EMS oversubscribed on first choice. So there's no room to accept second choice applicants. So now we're looking at the child's third choice already. And then say they put down nurse technology, and then nurse technology oversubscribes. Well, then we came and look at that for an option for their third choice program. So what I'm trying to say here is put down what you really want for your first choice, but put down a realistic related second and third choice that it doesn't look like it's going to oversubscribe, just to make sure you get the best chance of getting your top 3 choices. So you don't want to put down oversubscribed programs as your first, second, and third choice. It's just not a good thing to do because you may get bumped to a fourth choice. So again, I'm going to take another look. Athletic healthcare, I really want that program. I think I can get in. I think I worked hard. My GPA's high. When I went through on rotations, the career instructor, gave me a really good score on the rubric. So I'm going to put that as my first choice. But you know what? In case I don't get in, because I know there's a lot of good students trying to get into that program, I want to be realistic about my second choice. And I know that EMS typically oversubscribes, and it looks like it might oversubscribe this year. I'm going to go with medical assisting. Between that and nurse tech, there's some similarities there. I can learn a lot. But medical assisting looks like it will not oversubscribe this year as of now. So I think that's a safer bet to put down as my second choice. Then as my third choice career program, I'm really thinking about this one. For my outside pick, I remember going through rotations. I'm going to put down early childhood education as my third choice. So I've declared my 3 choices. The student acknowledgement comes next, and it just simply says, I have reviewed and acknowledged the information that I provided on this form as my first, second, and third career choices. So I'm going to go back to the top and just review my selections to make sure I hit the right bubbles. Yes, athletic healthcare is my first choice. My second choice is medical assisting. I think that that's a good idea. And then my third choice I'm going to put down as early childhood education. So there are my choices. I can acknowledge that I reviewed them, and the parent guardian standing right next to the student will also acknowledge the same thing, that they reviewed the information on the form and acknowledge your student's first, second, and third career choices. Click yes, and then I'm going to click submit. And that's really it. So the reapplication form is simple. It only takes a couple of minutes to fill out. Just please double check it for accuracy before clicking submit. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to your child's careers and transition instructor. Plenty of help and support. We look forward to talking to you soon and supporting our Hawks as they go through the reapplication process and continue their careers at St. George's Technical High School. Have a good day. Thanks, folks.